Hi everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm really excited to be sharing part 2 of my Me 2020 Traveler's Notebook. If you're not familiar with this Traveler's Notebook, I recommend to check out part 1, and I will link it here in this video. I am going to be documenting February. I printed out my photos. I printed them in different sizes, and I just played around with it. I thought it would be fun to change it up a little bit. I also chose a few stamp sets that I thought I could use to kind of document my photos here. So I have this Tennessee stamp set from Studio Calico because I am going to be documenting the kids and I going to Tennessee. And then I have a winter stamp set. We had some snow in February and I love snow, so I wanted to document it. Some TV stamp sets from Purkey and Studio Calico. I also have an alpha stamp because I thought you can never go wrong with, an alpha stamp. That's from Studio Calico as well. And I'm going to be using this throughout my journal here, or my traveler's notebook. This is from Everyday Explorer, and I used it last month. And I really love how it looks, so I'm going to be using that. And I also grabbed this stamp set from Purkey that I want to add before each month because it was a little bit confusing. I thought it would be smart to stamp out the month beforehand. So I did it for January. Obviously, I didn't have space here, so I stamped it before January. And I'm thinking I might stamp it somewhere here for February because I'm not done with January. I started this before January finished. So I have one more week here to add for January, and then I might stamp February down here. So anyway, I'm not going to keep talking. I'm going to put you guys on fast forward, voiceover, and start working on February and kind of have fun with this. Like I said, my Me album is all about me, just things that I'm enjoying at the moment, pictures of myself, all that good stuff. So I definitely recommend it. I always say this, document yourselves, you guys. Don't just document family members. You are as important. So let's start because I have a feeling this is going to be very, very long. But anyways, let's do this. Okay, guys, let's start. I'm going to finish up January by documenting week 5. And I'm documenting a photo of my siblings and I. They are some of my favorite people. So I wanted to go through my cards here, my little stack of cards, because I knew I wanted to trim out one of these beautiful feature craft cards. So I ended up choosing this really pretty blue one that says Family Time. Just going to trim that out and use it as an embellishment. I'll also use another Feature Craft stamp set. This is a really old one, but I love this stamp from the stamp set that says You Are My Person. And I'm going to end up stamping that right underneath my little cutout embellishment. I'll also go through my have-to bowl. This bowl is, I call it my have-to bowl because I try to go through it before I go through my embellishments. They're really old embellishments. They're embellishments like if you have a sheet of stickers and you only have 2 left on that sticker sheet, I'll trim them out and add them in my have-to bowl just to kind of empty out my stash. And it's a good way to kind of use those older embellishments. Anyways, I ended up using a little label, a pink one. And now I'm going to use my Everyday Explorer calendar stamp set. I think that's what it's called. And I'm going to stamp out my weeks. I'm going to leave the bottom portion underneath week 5 empty because I'm thinking that's where I want to stamp my February. And that way when I'm going through my traveler's notebook, I kind of figure out which month I'm looking at the moment, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp 5 through 9, and I'm going to grab the February stamp set, stamp out February as well, and I will also be using my Citrus Twist week stamp set. So in January, I didn't stamp week above or underneath my numbers, and a lot of people were kind of confused if I was documenting by week or by day, and that made sense. I didn't stamp week or day or anything like that. So I decided to actually stamp week. This time around, I'll actually go back into January and stamp week, I think underneath my numbers, wherever it fit. But I think I'm going to have to be doing that anyways because it makes more sense to stamp like week, then the number, and then the month. So that's what I end up doing. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to grab that Kelly Purkey month stamp. They're large month stamps and they're perfect. So I'm going to end up stamping February on the bottom, and I think I like it. I don't know. I'm kind of in between. Should I keep stamping the month or should I not? But I don't know. I'm just going to go with it. Maybe I can just add a little embellishment over it. We'll see. Anyways, I'm moving on to week 6. And I'm documenting a snow day. Like I said earlier, I love snow days. So it's going in my All About Me Traveler's Notebook. I will be using Feed Your Craft Snow Day stamp set. I don't believe the stamp set is available anymore, but I love the snowflake. And what I thought I would do was create a little background using this light blue. But once I end up like sticking down my picture, stamping a few things, I feel like I need to add a little bit more to the background. And you're gonna see what I end up doing. It's not like anything amazing, but I really like how it turned out. I'll also be stamping Let It Snow underneath my photo and Wonderland. Once I stamp those out, I will go back and grab that snowflake stamp and stamp it in a darker shade of blue. Now, why I decided to do this was I felt like the blue that I chose in the first place was really, really light, and I thought it would look kind of like an ombre effect. It was really pretty. Anyway, it's not really an ombre effect, but anyways, I end up stamping it in a darker shade of blue, and I love how it turned out. Then I will stamp Wonderland and call week 6 done. By the way, I don't fill out my journaling on camera. Just felt like that was a waste of time. I do it later on, and you'll get to see that in the pictures at the end of the video. Now I'm going to move on to week 7, and I am documenting a little trip that my kids and I took to Tennessee to see my sister, and we got to go to Ruby Falls. It was gorgeous and amazing. Definitely recommend it, especially if you're in that area. But what I decided to do, because I have 2 photos, I'm going to create a little flip. The photos are too big to set next to each other, so I'm going to end up doing this flip. Very easy technique, just sticking a photo from the inside, then, doing the little flip and sticking my next photo from the outside. And I love doing little interactive elements like this. It's just so simple to do, and it's a lot of fun to add in your traveler's notebook. I will also be using Studio Calico's Tennessee stamp set. Love their state and city stamp sets. They are perfect for documenting little travels and trips and vacations. So I'm going to stamp Tennessee above my flip. And then I will stamp Ruby Falls using my alpha stamps from Studio Calico. Again, I wish I went with a smaller alpha stamp, but it's okay, no big deal. It fit. But while I was stamping it out, I was thinking, oh no, this is not going to fit, but it actually fit. So I feel like I need to create a little background, but like kind of a muted background. I don't want it to be loud. So I'm going to grab the fireflies from the same stamp set and just stamp them randomly in yellow ink to create my own little background, I guess. I love fireflies, you guys. I'm from Georgia, and fireflies in the summer just remind me of summer and just bring back so many memories as a kid. So I thought, the fireflies looked pretty cute. And I'm also going to stamp Rock City, I think that's what it said, right in the center. Just wanted to fill out my little flip here so you can have something cute to look at, and call week 7 done. I move on to week 8, and I discover that I documented the wrong picture in the wrong week. Week 7 was supposed to be Valentine's Day, and week 8 was supposed to be our trip to Tennessee. Big boo-boo, no big deal. I'm just going to move on and document it anyway. It's okay if you do little mistakes like this. This is an album for yourself, or a traveler's notebook about yourself and for yourself, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, on Valentine's Day, I spent it with me, myself, and I. Yep, my husband was traveling, my kids went out with friends, so it was just me. And what I decided to do was watch To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I think this was part 2. And I loved the movie. It was adorable. What I wanted to do was I trimmed out the Life is Better in pajamas from my 3x4 card. And I thought I would stamp As Good as It Gets, but the stamping was horrible. I would grab my stamp pad, add that, thinking I can double stamp it. But you guys know when you double stamp something, it turns out worse. And that's what happened. And it was really getting under my skin. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'll just stamp it on some white paper and stick that down. But when I stamped it, I was like, hold on, this traveler's notebook is kind of creamy paper, so it would look kind of off. So I'm thinking, okay, best bet is to go through my labels, add a label, cover it up, and then restamp As Good as It Gets above it. So I do that. I like how it turns out. Sometimes mistakes turn out to be better than what you thought. And I love how it turns out. Then I want to create another little background using my stamp sets. You're probably thinking, why am I using so much stamps? First, you guys know I love stamps. But because I don't want to bulk up this traveler's notebook too much, I have to document 52 weeks. So I am using my stamps because it keeps everything flat. So I'm going to grab a Kelly Purkey stamp set and use the little TV set to stamp randomly to create a little background. I'm going between black ink and gray ink, like a light shade of ink, just to add a little bit of some interest to my background. And by the way, that stamp set from Kelly Purkey, those are from her newer releases. You guys, I don't know if you heard, but Kelly Purkey's closing shop, it's so sad. It makes me so sad. But I purchased all her stamp sets. I'm just purchasing anything she releases at this point because I don't want to miss out, honestly. And I love that stamp set. Going through my embellishments because I want to add a little hint of red just to bring in some of the red from my little title that I cut out for my 3x4 card. And I'm going to end up adding that tab right above my photo. And then I'll grab my puffy stickers and add a few stars in that little section there where it's kind of empty and I just wanted to fill it out. And then I call week 8 done. So week 9 is all about my favorite TV shows at the moment. And I'm going to be using Studio Calico's TV Time stamp set. Love the stamp set. I have plenty of layouts using the stamp set. If you're interested, you can check out my videos here on my channel or my Instagram because I share loads of layouts using the stamp set. But anyways, what I'm gonna do is stamp out the TVs, trim out the centers, and back up my photos to look like, I'm watching that in my TV set, if that makes sense. But I wasn't thinking I was gonna use this stamp set, so I just went ahead and printed my photos. So my photos are a little bit too big for the TV screens. Not a big deal. I'll trim around them, make them fit, and they look fine. But while you are watching me, create my little TV sets and back them up with my photos, I wanted to recommend some of my favorite TV shows. Ray Donovan, I've been watching it since the day it aired, and it is in my top 5 TV shows. I love Ray Donovan. Definitely recommend it, and this season was the best. And Good Girls was actually recommended to me by my sister, and I loved it, and I binge watched it. I was obsessed, and I'm really excited that season 3 has started, and I'm loving that as well. So I'm just documenting those 2 TV shows. I'll also grab that Kelly Purkey stamp set again and stamp Binged right above my TVs, and I'll stamp right underneath it binge watching specialist because I am a total specialist at binge watching shows. I love shows more than movies. I don't know why. Maybe because I kind of connect more with the characters and you get to know them better. So that's why I just love shows more than movies. Anyways, once I do that, I will also stamp out 5 stars and fill out those stars with my yellow marker. While I was filling out my stars, I thought to myself, maybe I should do the same for the TV background, the TV set background, just to add a little color. So I actually grabbed my box of fine liners and then grab my red marker, fill out the little buttons on the TV sets, and then I call my layouts done. Easy peasy, you guys. I love this traveler's notebook. I'm really enjoying working in it. I hope you have been enjoying it as well. Don't forget, I add all the links for everything I use down in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.